Hey everyone, John Galloway with another Model Mondays. But before we get started, I've got three things you absolutely need to know about owner financing. One, what is the interest rate of the owner financing? And does it change depending on the terms of the purchase? Two, is the debt amortized over a certain period of time or is it interest only? When we talk about amortization, we mean that we're going to keep the payment the same over a certain number of years. Usually that's 30 years in a 30-year mortgage rate product. Number three, the most important part about owner financing. When is the balloon payment on the loan? Is the balloon in 1 year? Is the balloon in 2 years? Is the balloon in 5 years? You really need to know because you need to have an exit strategy either with refinance or with sale lining up with that balloon payment. All right, that's great, John, but let's get on to the Model Monday. That is a great point. Let's do it. Y'all ready? All right, Model Monday. This property is a mystery property. And that's because I actually can't tell you about it without you reaching out to me first. The reason for that is just some marketing rules for the MLS. I can't market someone else's property without their permission. And so we have modeled this one. It's a great property. I think you're really going to like it. If you want to know more about this property, just text me. Number's right there on the screen for you. Okay, without further ado, what are the details on this property? So this is a 4-unit, that's a quadplex in Denver. It's currently got 100% occupancy with mostly month-to-month leases below market. We like month-to-month leases because we can take a property that is occupied, but without being stuck with the term of those leases for a really long time. The cool thing about this property is that the owner is offering owner financing. Owner financing, I'm going to throw the definition up right here, is just like a mortgage that you would get at a normal bank, except the owner with the proceeds from the sale is turning around and extending you a mortgage. That's the financing part for the property. Owner financing can be a really great tool in today's market because you can purchase property at below market interest rates with some below what you would normally have to do in diligence for a standard bank like First Bank, US Bank, etc. Generally, the owner is going to be less stringent on their financing terms than other banks, right? And so the advantage is both we can get an interest rate that might be better than what we can get in the market, and maybe we don't have such strict underwriting standards at that point. But where do we find owner financing? You find it from owners. And you can always ask the brokers and the owners if they'd be willing to extend owner financing. Generally, they won't, but there are some really great circumstances where they do. And I've received owner financing on several projects. I've done it for several clients, and it works out really, really great. So keep an eye out for it. It can be one way that you can get properties to cash flow in this market. All right, on to the model. This owner is offering 5.5% terms, which is great because we're seeing in the sevens right now, for 80% loan to value loans. So we're putting 20% down to get this 5.5% interest rate. It's amortized over 30 years, but there's a balloon payment 5 years in. So we're just saying that the loan will be treated as if it's paid off over 30 years, which is the amortization, but the balloon payment, which is 100% of the remaining principal is owed when? At the end of 5 years, John. Exactly. Perfect. At the end of 5 years, we will need to either replace the owner with new debt or sell the property. If we don't, they will foreclose on us. Okay, the other terms. There are 4 units currently. Most of them are on month to month. Here is the square footage for the units, and here is the current rent for those units. Based on some just Rent-O-Meter data. Rent-O-Meter is a tool that I use to get rents. I think that we can get the rents to about $1,400 a month. Each one of them has a one bedroom or has a single car garage, which is here in parking income. I think what we will do is we will charge $75 a month to each tenant, or to an outside party that wants a covered parking. So the garages will be for rent for $75 a month, and then we have a $25 a month utility chargeback. Okay, expenses. Currently, we just have some assumptions for expenses. So $450 a year in repairs and maintenance, assumption. $550 per year in utilities. They currently have $576.50 per unit in utilities. We believe, with some energy saving measures, that we can bring that down by at least $100 a year, if not more. Make ready costs $350 a unit. That's just a standard assumption. 8% for property management. I say it every time. We are property managers and we can help you. The property makes the most money generally when you manage it yourself, if you can get the rents, if you can manage it properly. Insurance, they're paying $1,076.50 a month. I believe we can get that down to $950 with just proper shopping for the insurance. And then property taxes, this year they pay $1,168.23 per unit. Next year I calculated the increase, we're at about $1,373.58 per unit. $200 a month set aside in capital reserves. Who cares, John? Does it make money, man? What a wonderful question. It does make money, funny enough. Okay, so this is assuming 80% down, 5.5% loan with a 30-year amortization. Showed you all the income information and the expense information. Currently where we're sitting with our assumptions, we have a net IRR after sale, our net internal rate of return of 9.29%, which is pretty good, right? Cap rates might be sitting around 7% at the moment. If we can beat the returns that we can get for mortgage rates or in a 5% interest high yield checking account, that's pretty good. Our ROI per year is 10.8%, and our net equity multiple, that is the amount of equity we have in the property, will be multiplied by this figure to show us the net cash out at sale is 1.54. All right, but does it cash flow on a monthly basis? If you see right here, it actually does cash flow on a monthly basis. It cash flows after financing at our 5.5% rate, and then it does cash flow after we stabilize it as well. The cash-on-cash returns are not great. As you can see here, those cash-on-cash returns are a little bit less than 1% for in-place and stabilized figures. They do get better as we go. Better as we go being depicted in this graph here. As you can see, for up until around month 13, we only cash flow a little bit more than $100 a month. Okay, so what did we learn? We learned that you can cash flow on a 4-unit property in Denver if you have the right financing terms. The right financing terms may mean that the owner finances the property. If the owner does finance the property, we want to keep the 3 things in mind that I spoke about at the top of the video. What are the terms of the financing, and does it depend on what we put down or the terms of the purchase price? Is the loan amortized or interest only? When is the balloon payment? So anyway, amazing. Thank you all for joining me for another Model Monday. If you want to know where this property is located, if you want to talk more about our figures, just let me know. Why don't you text me, call me, email me, comment on the YouTube video below, and let's talk. All right, thank you.